The drama surrounding LA Mayor Karen Bass has spiraled into something out of a political satire. While the city she swore to protect was engulfed in flames, Bass was thousands of miles away in Ghana, attending a presidential inauguration. She had no idea Los Angeles was turning into a scene from the day after tomorrow. When reporters finally caught up with her, their questions cut like wildfire themselves. Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars? And in that uncomfortable silence, as cameras rolled and the smoke of both the fires and her reputation hung heavy, it became painfully clear that the mayor had nothing to say that could douse the flames of public outrage. Then came Greg Gutfeld, the satirical executioner of political nonsense, who turned her press debacle into a masterclass in comedic commentary. "She wants doctors to open her brain to find out why she's so stupid," he quipped, the kind of line that makes you laugh and wince at the same time. Gutfeld's truth bomb detonated with such force that even Bass's Wi-Fi probably tried to disconnect itself. It wasn't just another political takedown, it was a full-blown roast disguised as civic commentary. One minute she was giving a smooth, diplomatic explanation. The next, she was starring in her own humiliation special, live, unscripted, and unintentionally hilarious. Referring to her as Cinder Mayor, Gutfeld mocked her timing, how she managed to put the gone in Ghana right when her city needed her most. When Sky News confronted her about it, Bass looked like a deer caught in the heat wave of her own bad decision-making. Asked about Elon Musk calling her utterly incompetent, she stumbled through excuses, insisting she hadn't been aware of the warnings. That's the thing about leadership. You're not supposed to find out after everyone else does. Yet somehow she seemed baffled by her own itinerary, as if teleportation was to blame. Gutfeld joked that maybe she woke up in Ghana by accident, kidnapped by her own incompetence. What did someone blindfold her, throw her in a trunk, and bing bang boom, she ended up in Africa, he said, mocking her bizarre attempt to distance herself from her own choice. The problem wasn't just her absence, it was her audacity. Los Angeles was literally on fire, and Bass thought she could manage the crisis from a different continent. Gutfeld's commentary turned that absurdity into art. Blaming your absence on someone else, he said, is like blaming your hangover on the bartender. Every time she opened her mouth, the damage control worsened. Each explanation sounded like it was written by a PR intern trying to pass a creative writing exam. And yet, Gutfeld didn't stop there. He dissected her leadership pattern. The endless committees, the endless promises, the endless nothing. She thinks every problem can be solved by announcing a committee, he said, which in Los Angeles means we've decided to talk about it for 5 years while the problem gets its own zip code. It was a brutal truth. Under her watch, LA has turned governance into performance art. Ribbon cuttings for projects that never finish. Press conferences for solutions that never arrive. It's like the city exists in a permanent state of coming soon. He roasted her reliance on consultants, saying nothing screams progress like paying 6 figures for a report that concludes, "We should do something." His punchline? Comparing her investigation into her own trip to O.J. Simpson's vow to find the real killer. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. "Good luck, Nancy Drew," he laughed, "trying to solve the mystery of how you booked a flight you remember booking." What made this all the more tragicomic is how Bass speaks. Her tone is always calm, optimistic, measured, the kind of voice that sounds like it belongs to a meditation app, not a mayor overseeing chaos. Even as the city sinks under crime, homelessness, and inflation, she speaks as though everything is fine, as though LA's problems are just character development in her political origin story. Gutfeld described it perfectly. She has the political calm of a yoga instructor. Her brand of leadership is almost hypnotic in its denial. She talks about unity, and technically, she's achieved it. Everyone in Los Angeles, from the rich to the homeless, the liberal to the conservative, is united in frustration. She speaks of safety while carjacking skyrocket. She preaches affordability while housing prices rival Mars colonies. Each speech sounds more disconnected than the last, filled with buzzwords like transparency, equity, and innovation. But no one can quite figure out what any of it means. Then came the icing on the absurd cake. Her claim that ICE kidnapped a migrant mother. A heartbreaking story, except for one detail. It was a hoax. The victim had faked the entire ordeal, and Bass had rushed to the microphones faster than a Netflix producer chasing a true crime deal. When the truth came out, her credibility went up in smoke. Again. Gutfeld pointed out the grim comedy of it all. LA keeps pouring millions into temporary housing projects that move slower than the plot of The Walking Dead. By the time construction ends, the homeless population has relocated or multiplied. And yet, every photo op shows Bass standing with scissors in hand, ready to cut ribbons for buildings that exist only in concept art. If speeches could fill potholes, Gutfeld said, LA would have the smoothest roads in America. Her obsession with optics has become the running gag. Every crisis becomes a PR opportunity. Every mistake becomes a learning moment. Gutfeld compared her governance to a Hollywood set. Perfect lighting, smiling extras, and nothing real behind the facade. Once the cameras turn off, the tense, trash, and chaos return, like a glitch in the simulation. Still, the funniest part isn't her mistakes, it's her confidence. She enters every meeting like she's about to announce a miracle, only to reveal another task force that will discuss the miracle someday. Greg joked that she doesn't fix problems, she commissions essays on them. Every time she declares progress, reality interrupts with a crime report or an unpaid construction invoice. In the end, Greg's takedown wasn't just comedy, it was catharsis. Because beneath the laughter lies a simple truth. Los Angeles deserves better. A city once synonymous with dreams now looks like a disaster-themed amusement park where the rides are closed and the mayor's on vacation. And as Greg concluded, you can't fight fire with platitudes, pronouns, or politics. You fight it with leadership, the kind that shows up when it matters. So here's the real question for viewers. Do you think Karen Bass should be held accountable for her decisions? Is political incompetence just the new normal? Or have we all stopped demanding better? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you want more brutally honest breakdowns like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're just getting started.